Hey everyone, ScottishWarrior92 and welcome to another WION review. I'm your host ScottishWarrior92 and WION stands for Worth or Not, and in this WION review I'm going to be reviewing The Amazing Spider-Man, the new reboot to the Spider-Man franchise. If you haven't seen it already, I'll leave a link in the description. I did do a review of the original Spider-Man trilogy, and I did say a few things that I stick by my reviews, so if you want to check that out, link it in the description. And I'll also answer the simple question, is this better than the first Spider-Man movie at the end of the review? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the pros, I'm going to talk about the cons, and then I'm going to say whether or not is this movie worth going to the pictures to see it. So yeah, I'm going to answer that simple question. No scores, no nothing. No scores, just an answer. That's a shit catchphrase. If anyone can come up with a good catchphrase for WION, please help. I'm kind of stuck with them. And maybe an intro. I wouldn't mind an intro. Nah, I'm messing with these. But I'm just going to tell you the pros and cons. So I'm going to get straight into this review with the pros. Let's get the biggest pro out of the way. Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield done a brilliant job as Spider-Man in my opinion, and Peter Parker as well. He really nailed the character, unlike Tobey Maguire, who kind of got the character of Peter down a wee bit, but didn't really get Spider-Man in my opinion. If you don't get Spider-Man, you don't really get Peter. So in my opinion, Andrew Garfield is a far superior actor to Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire. Andrew Garfield done a really great job in my opinion, and I fully loved him. There were some instances in which I kind of didn't like him, but I think he's going to need one more Spider-Man movie, which is now guaranteed, there's a trilogy coming, to really get the role perfect in my opinion. And that's what I'm going to stick by. Like, it's sort of like how Christian Bale got Batman in The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is where he shined as Batman. Batman Begins where he shined as Bruce Wayne. In my opinion, the Amazing Spider-Man was more focused on Peter's character, and it definitely worked in this. It's a bit more of a darker Spider-Man. It's much more mature. Sort of like what they've done with Batman, but it still has its goofy moments and its funny moments, which is really good. That major thing I want to get there is that Andrew Garfield really got the humour of Spider-Man. Spider-Man is meant to make you laugh. That's what he's meant to do. And that's what I think Andrew Garfield nailed on the head. He made me laugh, unlike Tobey Maguire, who never made me laugh really. Well, maybe once in the Spider-Man trilogy, but Andrew Garfield actually made me laugh, which is really good. I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. I still think he needs one more movie to perfect the role, but overall I think he done a really good job. The Amazing Spider-Man was more focused on Peter's character and Spider-Man, a little bit of Spider-Man. I think the next one will focus more on Spider-Man in general. And I know they're the same person, but you know what I mean. Like, they concentrate on the human, then they're going to concentrate on the alter ego, which is really done. I will say one thing on Spider-Man is I prefer the web shooters that he has in this movie to the organic ones in the Spider-Man trilogy, because I grew up with the animated series and reading the occasional Spider-Man comic, so I prefer the web shooters, and it actually does show you how he makes the web shooters and how he gets a hold of his webbing, which is a wee bit iffy. I didn't really like how he got a hold of it. He basically just stole it from Oscorp because they were developing spiderweb basically, and they also make a nice wee noise when they fire, which is awesome. I loved it. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it. So I prefer the web shooters over the organic ones. They were much more better, and it also showed you how he made his costume, but not really how he made it, but it showed you where he got the materials to make it and where he got the idea for it as well, which is really, really good in my opinion. So overall, Andrew Garfield did a brilliant job as Spider-Man. I still think he needs one more movie to perfect the role, but I can't wait to see what they do with that. So let's also get to another big thing which I fucking loved about this film, which was Gwen Stacy. Fuck Mary Jane from the Spider-Man trilogy. Gwen Stacy is a bam! I mean, literally, like Sam Raimi, he isn't that great of a director of the Spider-Man series in my opinion, because every single female in the Spider-Man trilogy, always every 5 fucking minutes, is save me! And they either get kidnapped, and Spider-Man has to swoop in and save the day. They're all the very traditional damsel in distress. Gwen Stacy is not that in this character. I think it's Emma Stone that plays her, who did a fantastic job in my opinion. She wasn't like the stereotypical damsel in distress. In fact, she fucking took on the Lizard twice. She hugged the Lizard with a trophy at one point to help Spider-Man out, which was fucking hilarious. And she fucking flamethrowed him. How the fuck do you get... She literally took no shit, and at one point in the movie, this is kind of a spoiler, this isn't really a spoiler, Spider-Man's telling her to get the fuck out with a Lizard's head, and I'm not going to say where, and she basically goes, I'm in the middle of making the antidote, and then hangs up on him, and then She fucking stays there and makes the antidote. She evacuates the entire building that they're in and makes the fucking antidote. Takes the thing that she's awesome. I loved it. I fucking despise the typical damsel in distress. Gwen Stacy in this movie. Emma Stone, congrats on the fucking job, by the way. Fan-fucking-tastic. Mark Webb, I think, is who directed it. Praise to you for giving us not a typical dumbass in distress, just giving us our awesome, awesome female character. She wasn't screaming every 5 minutes, and she's fucking intelligent. She is actually a genius. She actually, of course, they did a bit where, of course, Spider-Man goes, I can't be with you because of danger, and she fucking whips it right back in his face, which is awesome, and it's absolutely fantastic. I loved it. She is awesome. And she really kicked ass in this film, and I enjoyed it. So definitely, Gwen Stacy, Mark Webb, you've done a fantastic job. I loved it. I fucking despise the typical dumbass in distress. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's been done to death. This one had a strong female character who is intelligent and very, very strong, in my opinion. She's absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to see what happens. And of course, spoiler alert, it is hinted at that in the next Spider-Man film she is going to die, because if you know your Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy actually gets killed off by the Green Goblin in the comic book series and stays dead. So possibly in the second film, even Emma Stone has said that she has to die basically to make Spider-Man who he is. So we may see the last of Gwen Stacy in the next Spider-Man film. We don't know. So that might be. And by the way, Norman Osborn is in this film, but he hasn't got a face. He's more like a kind of guy, like in the shadows kind of guy, which is disappointing, but understandably why. Then of course let's get to the others. I saw it in 3D because I went with my sister and my mum's partner, and my sister loves 3D. The 3D was actually alright. It wasn't that bad. It's not really necessary in my opinion, but it was fun and entertaining. The overall theme of the movie I loved. It was very more mature and darker than the other Spider-Man films. Very well done. A good nice wee mix of dark and humour. It was very well done, and the action as well was quite well done. There isn't an abundance of action, but it done a really good job in my opinion. I loved it. It was really, really good. The CGI is really good in my opinion. There are a couple of iffy bits, but overall the overall plot of the thing is really well done. Basically the lizard wants to turn everyone into lizards basically, which is very well done. And I will say this one, I did enjoy the lizard in this one, but he's in my con section for a reason in particular, and I'll get to that in a moment. But overall with the pros, I enjoyed it. It was fun. I didn't think I wasted my money. So let's get to the cons. One of my major problems with the cons with this movie is the first person mode. Now there is, in the trailer, the first trailer, there's a first person mode. There are at least 3 or 4 first person view modes in this, movie, and it drove me insane. They're okay for the movie, but it doesn't really fit in my opinion. They used it too much in my opinion. Using it once or twice is okay, but they used it way too many times here, which is in my opinion, so that wasn't really good. One of the other cons is the villain, the Lizard. I did enjoy the Lizard. I thought the actor, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with actors' names, but I thought he did a good job as the Lizard. The only thing the reason he's in the cons is because he doesn't really have a motive. He doesn't really explain why he wants to give a reason why he's doing what he's doing, besides they hint at the fact that he may have a double personality, a split personality, which I'm so hoping they don't. I hope they just explain that he went crazy, because the Spider-Man films seem to have a fucking fetish for split personalities. The Green Goblin had a split personality. The Dr. Octopus had a split personality with the fucking tentacles. Venom, of course, is a split personality. And it really drove me up the wall, and I really hated that in the Spider-Man films trilogy with Tobey Maguire. But if they don't do that, I'm okay with it. That's the only reason he's in the con section. And you didn't really get a motive of why he's doing what he's doing, besides the fact that lizards are better, basically. So he's done a good job. I thought he was alright, really menacing in some cases, and I like the look of the Lizard. I do prefer the one from the animated series better, but I understand why they went the way they did, less CGI. But he was really good, and I thought he done a good job. But still in the con section, because I didn't really have a motivation why. The other con, there are 2 more cons. The first one is Uncle Ben. Overall, I think Martin Sheen done a fantastic job as Uncle Ben. However, the negative part is how he dies. They actually don't use the "with great power comes great responsibility" line in this movie, which is disappointing, but they reword it and give it a more modern twist, which is alright, not bad. But yeah, I'll get to that in a moment in part 2.